introduction that he wrote, and then I'm going to turn it over to our moderator, Michael Brown. And Dean Brand writes, I regret that I can't be with you today to introduce our two distinguished guests, Bob Barr and John Burton. The flu has the best of me. I was so looking forward to briefly introducing our guests and saying a few words about why this event is so important, not only for its substance, but because of the civil discourse it promotes and because of what it says about our wonderful students who make today possible. So let me try it from afar. Please welcome Bob Barr. Mr. Barr earned a master's degree in international affairs from George Washington University in 1972 and his JD from Georgetown in 1977. For the past 30 years, he has engaged the world. From the early 1970s, Mr. Barr was employed by the Central Intelligence Agency as an analyst of Latin American issues. He's a former federal prosecutor and a former congressman representing Georgia's 7th Congressional District as a Republican from 1995 to 2003. In 2006, he joined the Libertarian Party and was the Libertarian Party nominee for the U.S. presidency in 2008. He is an author and commentator on political and social issues and is chairman of the American Conservative Union Foundation's 21st Century Center for Privacy and Freedom. And please welcome one of our own, John Burton. John Burton is a graduate of the University of San Francisco School of Law. Mr. Burton received his BA from San Francisco State University and his law degree in 1960. He served in the House of Representatives in the late 70s and early 80s. Mr. Burton has served in the California State Assembly, and from 1996 to 2004, he represented California's 3rd District in the State Senate. In 2004, he served as the Senate's President Pro Tem. He is the current chairman of the California Democratic Party. After leaving the State Senate, he founded the John Burton Foundation, an organization dedicated to improving the quality of life for California's homeless children and developing policy solutions to prevent homelessness. I think it is also appropriate to introduce both John and Bob to all of you. Both should know that the University of San Francisco School of Law is proud of the vibrancy of the discussion that we promote and of the diversity of the student organizations that nurture that dialogue. Today, it is the Federalist Society that has stepped forward to bring together men of divergent views to help us choose the proper course for our country. And this final thought, there's been a lot of talk lately about the lack of civility in our society. This is not the time to lay blame, Dean Brand writes. Rather, I think it is time to celebrate the civil discourse that our students work so hard to promote. It is also a time to remember that as lawyers, legal educators, and future members of the bar, it is our responsibility to promote the rule of law with justice. That can only be done if we engage in the kind of dialogue that the Federalist Society wonderfully brings to us today. It is in that spirit that Dean Brand welcomes you all here today and sends his regrets for not being here with us personally. Welcome, thank you for being here, and at this time I want to turn it over to the moderator for this evening, Michael Brown.
Can everybody hear me? My first question concerns the area of personal freedom. I'm wondering where there may be agreement between progressives and Tea Partiers and Libertarians to protect individuals from laws that harm personal freedom, such as the Patriot Act. We'll start with John Burton.
Well, first of all, I'm not a progressive, I'm a left liberal. And a bunch of people became progressives when liberal became a dirty word when Michael Dukakis ran for president. So I don't like the term myself, but, you know, what's his name, Hiram Johnson, Pablo Fall were progressives. I think we agree a lot on that issue. I can remember on several, 2 or 3 occasions when I was in Congress, there were only 3 votes against what I considered repressive legislation. One was myself, one was Congresswoman Liz Holtzman of Brooklyn, and the other was Ron Paul when he was a new member from Texas. So I think there are many areas where what I would consider liberal Democrats are in agreement with think sometimes people think of libertarians being on the right, and I think they may be on the right, but they come back so far that on stuff that is important, like our American rights, that we are in sync. I think the only issue probably where there's a difference is, you know, the Second Amendment interpretation of militia, but and guns. But other than that, I think on things like the Patriot Act, all of these stupid things that they do, thinking they're making our country safe, that really is just making it rather stupid, like taking off our shoes at airports.
Thank you, John. First of all, let me thank both USF and the Federalist Society for allowing me to be here. It's a tremendous honor to be here with John and Mike and Lauren and the rest of you all. Two things that were strangely omitted from the otherwise very nice intro. I don't know why, but it wasn't mentioned that I actually went to college out here in California, a little bit south of here. I got a bachelor's degree from Southern Cal, and then went back east, and as was mentioned, did work at GW in Georgetown. I also teach constitutional law at John Marshall Law School in Atlanta, which I enjoy tremendously, and the opportunities, this may be about the third or so opportunity that I've had to be out here at USF, I think all times under the auspices and at the invitation of the Federalist Society. I've really enjoyed and really do appreciate the opportunity to be here. And as I say, particularly with John, we had a few minutes before the program, we were talking about some of the folks that we knew. We didn't quite overlap our time in the Congress, but of course a lot of the folks that John knew